Hi everyone and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. Really nice day on Drama Hospital, so let's get right to it. At the floating rib, Sunny tells Michael that Sabrina is with Carlos and not with her family. And Michael, as you can imagine, is in disbelief and asks for his source, and he tells her he got the information from Anna. And, Michael's a little confused by that, but he gets over it. And he just can't believe that Sabrina would take her baby on the run with a murderer. That's what happened. And Michael tells him that he heard from Sabrina, like, just in a letter she sent to Felix, letting them know that, like, the baby's okay and everything. And Sunny doesn't want Michael to do or say anything about this. At Windermere, Laura and Nikolas are setting up for Helena's will reading, and Nikolas wants Laura to accept Hayden just a little bit more. And Sam arrives for the reading of the will, and Hayden tells her that she knows Nikolas hired her. And Sam tells Hayden that she's going to talk with Nikolas about the investigation, and Hayden tries to grab her. Doesn't go over well, as you can imagine. And Laura finds issue that Hayden wrote in a first edition book, but personally I think she took issue with what she wrote in the first edition book because there's some symbolism that, thanks to Laura, I understand a little bit more. So Laura gets Hayden to leave the room with her, and Sam wants to talk with Nikolas about Spencer, and he doesn't, and Hayden, and like how Hayden's stopping the investigation in Hayden could directly affect Spencer's future, but Nikolas doesn't want to hear what Sam has to say, and she wants to move forward, but he won't approve of it. And Laura quotes Hayden inscription and what it meant, and Gatsby devoted himself to Daisy, and then Daisy left him, and he died for her crimes. Oh, spoiler alert. The book's like 80 years old. It got spoiled for me. I feel your pain, but we probably should have read it already if we cared or saw the movie. But here's some potential symbolism that Laura broke down. Daisy, the name of the woman in the book and who Hayden compared herself to, is pretty but common and a glorified weed. Ooh, burn. And I'm like, this is what I'm here for. Symbolism, potential symbolism, metaphors. I'm all for it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So Hayden says that Laura's being a little too literal, and all she was referring to was the love between Gatsby and Daisy. The love that seems like it turned toxic and wasn't really good for both of them because that relationship sounded like it ended horribly. So Laura warns Hayden about the Cassidines and revenge, and Hayden says she's well aware, even more than Laura thinks. So Nikolas and Hayden take a walk, and Laura wants to take this time to apologize to Sam about her part in keeping the Jason secret, and Sam just outright forgives her. She wants to move on, and she doesn't want it to be awkward between them, and she understands that Laura had conflicting loyalties there. So they move on and talk about Helena's will, and Sam tells Laura that Helena cursed her and everyone she loved on her deathbed, and Sam doesn't believe in curses, but Laura's not so skeptical. So Laura tells her Helena put a curse on her and Luke on their wedding day, but she doesn't credit it with the trouble in the marriage, and Sam gets a text from Jason to meet at the Metro Court, and Sam calls Spinelli and asks him to look up a disconnected number. Ooh. At the hospital, Dillon talks to Monica about Dr. Monroe being included in Tracy's care, and Tracy thinks Dr. Mays is unpleasant, and she asks Monica's opinion about him. Alice calls Monica something about security, and Monica's going to head out, but first she urges Tracy to get the biopsy so they can have real answers and know what they're dealing with. Dillon is so worried about Tracy, and he jokes with her about being there to just secure his inheritance, and she's like, oh, I donated all to save the owls when you could donate it to All Critters Rescue and save our sanctuary. Hey! Link in the description. Anyway, they laugh, and he tells her he contacted Dr. Monroe. We have an owl here, too. It hangs out in the tree. I saw it. I think I named it Hootie. I did. I named it Hootie. It's in a vlog somewhere. I'll have to find the footage. Anyway, so Dillon urges her to talk to Dr. Monroe, and Brad and the nurse come in to take her to the biopsy. So Griffin comes in and, I'm out of order. Darn! Shoot. So Griffin comes in and tells Dr. Mays that Dillon asked him to consult, and Dr. Mays gets in a hissy fit about it. There's no way around it. Absolute hissy fit. I've seen cats that react better to news, okay? And they are the ones that literally hiss. Anyway, so Dr. Mays gives Brad an attitude when he's just letting him know that they're bringing Tracy to the OR, and he's also berating Dr. Monroe because he says, he's seen something. So Dr. Monroe's like, look, I've seen something similar in Mexico. It presented like cancer, but wasn't. And Dillon tells Dr. Mays that, this was his idea, and Dr. Mays tells him to pick one doctor. So Dr. Mays calls Dillon son. And this was a big mistake because Dillon gathers himself, takes a step towards Dr. Mays, which is like supposed to be like an intimidation sign, and goes, "You can address me as Mr. Quartermain." Oh, mic drop. Literally, I had to pause it, rewatch it, because I was like, oh, dude, you're awesome. So Dillon says while Dr. Mays is going to perform the surgery, he's going to talk to Dr. Monroe. And he's a Quartermain and doesn't take orders from Dr. Mays and pats him on the shoulder and sends him away. Awesome. Awesome. So Griffin is impressed, and Dillon asks for his opinion, but first he assures Griffin that he has sway and nothing's going to happen to him. His job is safe. It's good to be a Quartermain. I want to be a Quartermain. Adopt me. Okay. So Griffin thinks there's a connection to the Mexico trip and what's happening to Tracy, but he doesn't think he'll be able to see the biopsy results, and he doesn't want to go too much further with it because he doesn't want to worry Dillon if there's no reason to worry him because he's a good person. So Brad lets Dillon know the procedure is done, and he offers to help Dr. Monroe. So at the Quartermain crypt, this is before Jason texts Sam. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of order. I guess I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, but now it's not. Anyway, so Jason has an audio memory of Lila and him telling her he's changing his name to Jason Morgan. And Monica comes in. I was right. Monica comes in and he shows her the plaque he took down, the vandalism, as he calls it. So Jason tells Monica he remembers telling Lila about the Jason Morgan change, and Monica tells him more about it and how, she was pretty much the only person supportive of it. And Jason asks who he is. And Monica's like, you're kind, loyal, honest, and fiercely protective. Even when you were working with Sonny, you elevated Sonny's code by following your own and superimposing it over Sonny's, which I think is, probably the best way to put it, right? So Monica talks about ELQ and how important it is for the Quartermain family and how it's it's the Quartermain company, So Jason asks if he can keep his plaque, and she says yes. And Jason says the heart has a long memory, and it's something Lila told him. So this is when he texts Sam. There you go. At Anna's place, Griffin is there. This is before he was at the hospital, though. So Griffin's there and admits he's been following Anna. He's nervous, and he gets a phone call from the hospital and has to go back. And he apologizes for upsetting her, but feels she will understand when she knows the reason. And okay, now he heads off to the hospital, and that whole drama I already said happens. And Anna gets on the phone and calls Andre. At the Metro Court, Anna meets with Andre and tells him about her encounter with Dr. Monroe. She didn't feel threatened and asks Andre if he's spoken to Griffin and has any insight on him. So there's some kind of weird, you're my friend and my colleague and I'm also your patient talk. And then there's an awkward moment where you're like, hey, what's happening? I don't know. It was really weird. I don't think they're trying to set up a triangle between Jordan, Andre, and Anna, but it felt like that for a second. And let me tell you, I'm not a fan if they're doing that, because I like Jordan and Andre together, and I like the path Anna's on, and I like Anna and Jordan, and I don't want to see them fight, Anyway, so Anna says she feels she may have met Griffin before. Jason and Sam meet at the Metro Court, and he wants to talk about getting ELQ back for the Quartermains. Yes, this is what I like to hear. And now end scene. Michael promises not to step in with Carlos, but he wants to be kept in the loop, and Sonny wants him to tell him if Sabrina contacts him. And after Sonny leaves, Michael calls Sabrina and leaves a voicemail for her to call him back because he's worried. Andre has to leave the table, and Anna Googles Griffin Monroe neurosurgeon. Sounds like a show. Anyway, Griffin is impressed by Brad's full name, Brad Cooper, as we all are. I love it. And he tells him that he's Lucas's fiance, and Griffin's like, "Hey, glad to meet you. Like, I've heard a lot about you." And Brad lets him know that he's in charge of the lab, and he's so disorganized, and sometimes like lab results get forwarded to the wrong doctor or just kind of left out. And Griffin's like, "Well, if I just stare at you and don't say yes or no, you know my answer, right?" And Brad's like, "Yes. I know, Woofers has decided to snore in all my videos now. It's his favorite pastime." So Tracy is still affected by the anesthetic and is like talking to Alan while she's still out of it. Jason is still carrying his plaque around, even to the Metro Court, because that's not weird at all to carry your. Yeah. So he's not sure what he's going to do with it. Don't bring it out in public. That's something you could do with it. Could you imagine? Jason gets a text from Diane about the papers being done for his new place. He asks if Sam wants to go with him, but she has to go to Helena's will reading. And he forgot his... What did he forget? What did he forget? We'll never know. He forgot his plaque, and Sam cuts her finger on it when she tries to, like, get his attention to give it back to him. Is that like a sign of bad things to come? I don't know. But thank you so much for watching. That is it for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would mean so much on this channel. I don't know if you already know, but we vote for character of the week, who you feel is like the best character, your favorite character, who you think like stood out. So since we're getting towards the end of the week, if you want to leave your votes in the comments, you can. Or if you want to wait till tomorrow, you can vote in tomorrow's video. Just giving you a heads up so you can keep it in your head. And I will see you tomorrow for more Drama Hospital. I hope you have a great day. Bye!